Welcome to the online course Essentials of Youth Policy, organised by the partnership between the European Commission and the Council of Europe in the field of youth.
We have Marius Ulozas, who is Director of the Institute for Policy Research and Analysis, and Artur Najaryan, present at Gyumri Youth Initiative Center.
So it's already 3 years that we were working on the Gyumri Youth Policy. As you know, Armenia is mainly working with the national youth policy, and saying to work on local youth policy, this is something strange for us, for our reality, because there is no any local youth policies. And it's already 3 years ago we have an idea to make a research program to find out the main priorities for the local youth policy in Gyumri. So we have an idea to run one project with the support of Norwegian Embassy, and it's 1 year research program. And in the frames of this program, we are cooperating with a Lithuanian organization, Institute for the Policy and Analysis, and we invited two international experts from Lithuania, Marius and Najaryan, who are involved in the project as an international expert, and they are with the local expert. They are also making the research yet, and with the support of our ministries, supporting youth, and also with the support of the municipality. We just did 5 months project, and we just prepared the local youth policy, and now we are trying to lobby it. We hope that soon this paper will be not just a paper, it will be a working paper for the municipality to work on it and to make the young people's lives better here in Gyumri.
All right, so thanks Artur for introduction, and then maybe Marius, you can go a little bit through the structure of the process. As far as understood, you were invited to go there and for a certain period of time and have things done. Yeah. So what were the main steps and what were the main developments? Also, what was your role as external consultants?
Okay, so as Artur explained where it came from. Institute, we do every year Eastern Partnership Youth Policy Academy. So our ideas met together, and we were thinking that, if we want sustainable youth policy, it has to be strategic. And how you can make strategic policy without research, without policy documents. So we decided that, let's try to do research, and based on that research, let's come up with policy proposals. And yes, we spent 1 month, I don't remember, 3 years ago. It was a very intensive process. What we were trying to bring to Armenia, to Gyumri, was two approaches. One was evidence-based policy making, which means that policy has to be based on facts, on research, on figures, on real data. And even more important for us in the Institute approach is participatory policy making, which means you have to make policy with those who will be affected by the policy, in this case with young people in Gyumri, also those who work with young people in Gyumri. So based on those two principles, the whole logic of the process was constructed. So the first part of the project was actually meeting together the project team to understand what is the scope of the process, what are the worries and doubts, because sometimes we see that, there's lack of trust towards data, research, and policy-making process as such. So we spent a lot of time and fruitful discussions to bring our understandings together. Then what we did, we ran a training course for local people who are already involved in youth policy, so NGO people, youth workers, to train about strategic policy-making process. So what is policy, how to make it, what kind of data is needed, what kind of documents you can prepare for policy development. So we trained local activists, let's say, in this field, who later on in the process supported us as research colleagues. So after this training course, we already built a base of people who will be working with us.
Okay.
Then we
May
used,
I ask those people whom you trained, so you say you teach them how to do research, who they were actually? Were they researchers or more active people from NGOs? Because now in this course we're also talking a lot how important is evidence-based policy, but then people often would say, well, we're not researchers, we don't have resources to hire researchers, can we do it by ourselves as youth workers or NGO activists?
Maybe I will answer. This is really very important point that we put in our project, because in Armenia many people who are involved in the youth field, they are just doing activities, but sometimes you can just go deep and you can find out there is no clear idea, there is no basis, they don't have like enough idea about the youth policy, about the youth research, how they can make a like youth policy. And when we are just like negotiating with our international expert, we have an idea that we will involve about 20 experts, like we call the young experts from different organizations, or just youth worker, or just young activists. So they get like 5 days training course about youth work and youth research, because later on we really want them to have like kind of local experts who will stay in Gyumri and they will be involved in the development of the policy. And I could say that they have really very, very valuable work in the frames of the project.
Because very often our part of the world, main methodology which was used was quantitative. For that, you need a lot of data, you need a lot of time and resources and so on. So we're trying to show other methodologies. It's more qualitative approach, it's more narrative research methods and so on. So we try to also empower youth workers or practitioners, let's put it this way, so that they also can use basic research tools, which also can help them to advocate for their work, which can help them to show their added value of the work which we're doing with young people. So yes, it's a very relevant question you asked, Laimon. So first of all, we trained local experts to use the research tools and methodologies. And then we run, I think, 28 handebooms, which is meetings with local people, specialists, everyone who is doing something with young people in Gyumri. So we literally met everyone using a semi-structured interview to analyze what they're doing with young people, what's their view about the youth situation and problems and possible solutions. So it was either me or Marius and also 1 or 2 local experts going to the meetings. So we had quite intensive collection of data. Then what we did, we drafted interim results, how we saw the picture. We mapped different areas where we thought it was important to focus. Also, later on, we run quantitative research with young people in Gyumri. We interviewed, I think, 450 people. 500. It was it was long and difficult process, but anyway, it proved the data which we found directly through meetings with people working with youth in Armenia. Also, at that point, when we prepared kind of interim results, we had a big conference. We invited everyone who were in our interviews, but also policymakers from local level, and also some people from ministry came. So we verified the findings, and then based on their feedback and based on results which came from interviews with 500 people in Gyumri, we made the final research document. And also, what was even more important for us, we made policy proposals. Because data is one thing, giving a picture of situation is one thing, but then, so what do we do with it? And we made quite several proposals what could be done, from leisure time activities to economical empowerment to providing better transportation for young people, and so on and so on. We based also how we looked at the youth situation. We took indicators from Charter of Youth Participation in Regional Local Life, 18 of them. We joined some of them together, so we had 14 indicators, according which we wanted to look at the youth situation. So it provided quite broad overview. And when we were presenting the final findings and proposals in Yerevan, then we were happy to receive quite a lot of interest from governmental level. So I think people from three ministries came to see, to look, to listen. And yes, they questioned some of the findings, but the general reception was good because, it was done for the first time and they're getting a real picture. It was not politicized because we're not political. Also, we involved ministry and local government representatives in the process, so they could not discredit us, that somebody's coming from somewhere and pushing on us some agenda. So it's very important that you involve everyone during the process. So it's also participatory policy making. So we're not coming with a result, here's the result, take it, use it. No, we involve them from the very beginning.
Here in this module, we also are exploring, what are the other important stakeholders in this process. Were there any other groups that you felt were important to involve, and did you involve them?
I want to add one thing here. Like when, as Marius already mentioned, when we did the first forum, when we are just presenting the first result of our research, we get a lot of feedback from the different stakeholders and from the youth organization that all the meetings were taking place with or organized young people or with an NGO. So unorganized young people, who are the majority of Gyumri young people, they are out of the process. And there was lots of questions like, what is the idea, what they are thinking about this youth policy, so how they will be kind of participating in this process. And this was not planned in our program, even if we didn't have budget for that. But it was so important for us that we discussed it with our international local experts, with the project team, and we found out that there is a big need to make the quantitative and qualitative the survey in the city. So somehow we will involve these unorganized young people in this process, which was for us kind of added value, and it was a really very, very important step that we came up. And I could say that the results, more or less, it was changed when we involve the people, because we get information from these unorganized young people that it's for us so strange and so shocking. From the beginning, please involve the stakeholders there, so they want to feel that they are also part of it. And it's not that me, Marius, or some of my colleagues, we are just writing this youth policy and giving this paper to them and saying, you are the one who should do it, But when they feel that from the beginning they are part of it, they feel responsibility for the implementation of this thing.
For us, it was very important to show that youth policy, it's not only NGOs and leisure time activities. It's much more. It's transportation, it's housing, it's economical opportunities. We read the Gyumri development document for next 3 years, and the youth was mentioned once in 15 pages. And we're saying, how can you talk about future of your city if you're not even mentioning young people? So even if some institutions had nothing to do with young people, we still went to them and talked with them. So to kind of raise their awareness that actually they have to do something with young people. So that meant that we went from, organizations working with human rights to psychology people to Department of Sport and so on and
disability.
So on. We went everywhere. Disability organizations. So it was also opportunity for us to show that youth field or life of young people is affected by so many different policy areas.
When we start to do this research program, there is no any idea about the youth work in Armenia, because that time the youth work and youth worker status is not recognized. And nobody knows what is youth work. Sometimes they think that this is something funny that young people are doing, and nobody is taking it really very serious. And I would say that after this program, it was kind of revolution for development in youth work development in Armenia. Now I'm very happy to say that by state the youth work status is recognized. Now even it's involved this. The first is also involved in the national youth policy.
From my side, I would say dare to do that, be ambitious, be brave, and also reach out to other institutions who are not working with youth at the moment. One of the side effects as well of this research project was that we reached out to Lithuanian embassy. We were meeting them saying, look, we're doing this and that. Are you interested to see it? So actually, by meeting with us, we understood that actually Lithuania will have a good youth policy. They were not aware about that before, but also they supported us even after the project finished. So now they are using also the research document and our policy proposals, and they even made youth cooperation as a priority for their development work.
Just initiate this kind of project and help your state also to make the step forward to make the better life for young people. Because this is also based on the cultural differences. In Armenia, if you go to the municipality and you say that I want this, you will get nothing. But when you go with the suggestions, when you go with you have some result and you are just putting on the table and you say, let's see what we did, and we have some conclusion, we have some solution, and we are here to help you. We are not just here to show that there is this issue and you need to solve it. Believe me, it's working a lot.
We hope this video contributed to your learning about youth policy.